The spiritual path, emotional volatility and lack of grounding. The sky without the earth has no strength. Heaven and earth united, finding stability in the flow of spirit. There's a stage in every seeker's journey when energy begins to awaken, and with it, the storms begin. You meditate, you breathe, you open yourself to spirit, and suddenly, emotions surge like tides. One moment, you feel infinite love and light. The next, irritation, confusion, or exhaustion. You try to stay elevated, but the higher you rise, the more unsteady you feel. This is the second pain of the spiritual path. Rising energy without grounding. It's the imbalance of spirit soaring without roots, enlightenment without embodiment, awareness without weight. The Taoists understood this better than anyone. They taught that heaven and earth must always meet through the human being. Heaven is the expansive, the infinite, the spiritual, the transcendent. Earth is the stable, the physical, the practical, the grounded. The human stands in the center as the bridge. When that bridge weakens, chaos begins. The dangers of rising without rooting. When spiritual energy awakens before grounding is established, emotions become unpredictable. You feel everything: joy, sadness, love, fear, but lack the capacity to hold it. Without grounding, energy disperses. Without stability, awareness fragments. The same sensitivity that can feel divine connection can also feel overwhelmed by the world's noise. Many seekers confuse this turbulence for spiritual advancement. They mistake emotional intensity for awakening. But true awakening brings calm, not chaos. As one of my teachers once said, "Spirit that rises without root becomes smoke." The purpose of the meditative arts is not to escape the body. It's to embody spirit so completely that both become one harmonious field. Spirit without earth, the floating mind. When the mind ascends without grounding, you begin to live above the neck. You think spiritually, but live mechanically. You understand concepts of peace, yet anxiety rules your day. You speak of presence, but forget to feel your feet. The floating mind seeks transcendence. It wants to rise above the human experience. But the Tao is not about transcendence. It's about inclusion. The Tao invites you to be fully human, to feel deeply, to live embodied, to express the infinite through the finite. You cannot stabilize spirit by escaping form. You stabilize it by inhabiting form completely. That's why Qigong, Tai Chi, and meditative movement are so essential. They don't just train energy, they train containment. They teach you to anchor awareness in the body so that energy has a vessel, like electricity flowing safely through a wire instead of burning the house down. Earth without spirit. Of course, the opposite imbalance is just as common: grounding without spirit. These are the people who are stable, disciplined, and reliable, but something inside has dimmed. They feel safe, yet uninspired. They're solid, but static, connected to the ground, but cut off from the sky. The Tao describes this as earth that has forgotten heaven. It leads to stagnation, a life of security without expansion. Balance is not about choosing between the two, it's about uniting them. Heaven gives direction, earth gives foundation, spirit lifts you, body steadies you. When they meet, power becomes peace. The tree metaphor: deep roots expansive branches. Imagine a great tree. Its roots reach deep into the soil, drawing nourishment and stability. Its branches stretch toward the sky, capturing light and possibility. If the roots are shallow, the first storm topples it. If the roots are deep, but the branches never reach, it withers in darkness. You are that tree. Your spiritual growth must expand upward and downward simultaneously. Meditation deepens your roots into the earth while expanding your consciousness toward heaven. Every breath unites the two. You inhale heaven, you exhale earth. The inhale lifts, the exhale grounds. When both are cultivated, emotions balance naturally. You feel more deeply, but remain unmoved by turbulence. You can rise in energy without losing your center. The middle pillar, human as bridge. In Taoist cosmology, the human being is called Zongren, the middle being. You stand between heaven and earth, the only creature capable of harmonizing both realms. Your body draws from earth, your awareness from heaven. Through you, they meet. The meditative arts were designed to refine this relationship. When you sink your awareness into your feet, you align with earth. When you soften your crown and open to stillness, you align with heaven. When your breath bridges the two, balance returns. In this balance, emotion becomes energy again, flowing, not flooding. Thought becomes clarity again, calm, not scattered. Spirit becomes embodied again, present, not abstract. The volcano and the mountain. There are two ways to hold power. A volcano builds pressure and eventually explodes. A mountain holds energy silently, vast, unmoving, stable. Many seekers live like volcanoes. Their practice fills them with inspiration and emotion, but because they haven't built the structure to contain it, that energy erupts through mood swings, impulsive choices, or burnout. The goal of practice is to become the mountain, to hold the same fire within, but with grounded stillness. When you cultivate this stability, emotion no longer hijacks you. It becomes wisdom. Sensitivity no longer overwhelms you. It becomes strength. This is the transformation of energy into power, of movement into mastery. Emotional volatility, the storm before the clear sky. It's important to understand, emotional volatility is not failure. It's a sign that energy is trying to reorganize. When inner stillness grows stronger, it exposes turbulence that's been hidden for years. Old fears rise. Unprocessed memories surface. Unfelt grief demands to be felt. The key is not to suppress these emotions, nor to drown in them. The key is to witness them while staying rooted. Breath becomes your anchor. Posture becomes your temple. Awareness becomes your refuge. You don't need to fight the storm. You only need to remember that you are not the wind, but the sky it moves through. Stillness as the master of movement. Many people think of stillness as the opposite of movement. In truth, stillness is its master. When you are still inside, movement becomes graceful. When you are chaotic inside, even stillness feels agitated. In Tai Chi, every motion originates from stillness. Each gesture, no matter how soft, begins from a calm, rooted center. The body moves, but the spirit does not waver. This is the secret of the sages and masters who seem unshakable. not because they resist life, but because they yield so completely that nothing can unbalance them. Stillness isn't the absence of action. It's the presence of awareness in every action. The role of the breath. The breath is the most direct bridge between spirit and ground. When emotions surge, breath shallows. When awareness fragments, breath speeds. The instant you reconnect to deep, slow breathing, the nervous system resets. Breathwork in Qigong and Taoist meditation doesn't just calm the mind, it harmonizes heaven and earth within you. The inhale draws pure energy through the crown. The exhale sinks it into the belly. With each cycle, you train spirit to descend and body to awaken. Heaven rooting into earth, earth opening to heaven. This is why ancient masters said, "The spirit of heaven lives in the breath of man," cultivating presence in the body. The simplest way to ground rising energy is to return awareness to the body, specifically to the lower abdomen, called the dantian. This energetic center acts as your internal earth, a reservoir that holds and stabilizes life force. When energy rises and emotions spike, simply bring your attention to the dantian. Feel the breath expand your lower belly. Relax the chest, soften the shoulders, and let the weight of the body settle into the legs. This posture of rootedness is not only physical, it's psychological. It tells the nervous system, "I am safe, I am home." With practice, even powerful surges of spiritual energy become manageable, directed, creative. Heaven in the eyes, earth in the feet. A balanced practitioner carries both qualities simultaneously, lightness above, heaviness below. Their gaze is expansive, but their step is deliberate. Their presence feels both calming and uplifting. This is what it means to be fully human. Heaven in the eyes, earth in the feet. You express the divine not by leaving the world, but by walking through it with grace. You bring spirit down to earth and earth up to spirit. Every breath, every motion, every interaction becomes sacred because it carries both vastness and weight. The emotional alchemy of grounded spirit. When spirit is grounded, emotion becomes wisdom. Anger becomes clarity. Fear becomes alertness. Sadness becomes compassion. Joy becomes steadiness. This is emotional alchemy, the transformation of raw feeling into refined awareness. The meditative arts make this possible because they train circulation. Instead of being trapped in the head or the heart, energy flows through the whole being. When you move, breathe, and align with awareness, the body becomes a temple where energy refines itself naturally. The practice of centering. Whenever volatility arises, the practice is simple. Return to center. Stand with feet shoulder-width apart. Let your knees soften. Close your eyes. Feel your weight drop into the ground. Breathe into your belly until the chest releases. Then, imagine roots extending from your feet deep into the earth, and light descending through the crown into your heart. With each breath, heaven and earth meet in you. This is not imagination, it's energetic reality. The nervous system responds to the intention. The mind stabilizes, the heart quiets, and energy flows smoothly again. Every moment of centering is a moment of healing. Stability as freedom. Many people think freedom comes from breaking rules or escaping limits. But in practice, the greatest freedom comes from stability. When you are grounded, you can explore anything without being lost in it. You can feel deeply without drowning. You can rise high without losing touch with reality. A dancer needs a floor to leap from. The musician needs silence to make sound. The spirit needs grounding to express its highest vibration. Grounding doesn't limit your ascension, it enables it. Emotional volatility and lack of grounding are not signs of failure. They're signs of awakening energy that hasn't yet found its home. The purpose of the spiritual path isn't to escape the earth. It's to become the place where heaven and earth meet. When you cultivate stillness in motion, breath in body, and awareness in heart, spirit becomes steady. You rise without floating. You feel deeply without being swept away. Spirit without grounding is fantasy. Grounding without spirit is stagnation. But when the two unite, your life becomes luminous and stable, a living balance of heaven and earth moving as one. This is the second gift of the spiritual path, the discovery that peace is not found in leaving the world, but in standing firmly within it, as the still point between sky and soil. You are the bridge. You are the meeting place. Heaven rises through you. Earth breathes through you. And together, they remember what you truly are: stillness in motion, spirit embodied, light grounded in form.